Hi everyone, welcome back to Be Rich podcast. So this session is going to be a discussion of which type of investment should be first, second and third and the hierarchy of investment. So I would like to bring here Maslow's hierarchy needs. So the first need which we should fill is physiological needs, and the second thing is safety needs, and third one is social needs, and then there comes self-esteem needs, and self-realization needs comes at the last. So I have bought 5 types of investment which everyone does: real estate, gold, mutual funds, share market investment, then emergency cash. So which should come first, second and third?
Okay, first of all, there's no comparison between this and that. In the sense that you're talking about different avenues of investment. You started off the video with where should you put money first?
Yeah.
For which category you're investing for? So there are two different things. We're talking about apples and oranges here.
Okay.
So first is there are different ways you can make money grow. But before you decide which way you're going to make the money grow, you need to decide what are you going to use the money which you grow for. That's what you're talking about. So first, I would say you should get done is emergency fund. Emergency fund usually should be invested in an avenue or an investment class which is very stable and very safe and highly liquid. Okay. Which is stable means it doesn't fluctuate, and which is liquid means you can make it into cash immediately, very fast as you can out of everything. So emergency fund, if you see that way, gold works the best because it is stable, it doesn't fluctuate, and it always beats inflation. So your 100 rupees or 2000 rupees, whatever you put in gold, whenever you need it, when you sell it and take it back as currency, let's say you buy 100 rupees worth of gold and held it for 10 years, and then when you sell it, it's now worth 10,000 rupees, that same gold, 100 rupee gold, right? The purchasing power of the 100 rupees will still be there for you at 10,000 rupees. So whatever you could buy today for 100 rupees, 10 years later when you sell that gold, the amount of cash you get, you can buy the same material. That's the idea. You understood? So that is why we say put your emergency fund in gold. So no matter what happens, you can pull that money out for the same amount of purchasing power you can get back. And the other important thing is gold is very easy to sell. The only issue is, question comes, is it should you keep it physical or ETF? Here my notion would be, if you are someone new like you, to keep it in ETF. Simple reason is, when you keep gold as ETF, it is easy to sell. Physical gold is also easy to sell, but there's no storage cost and there's no emotional cost. When you're young like this, if you go buy
And
gold,
no problem of theft also.
Theft, you don't have to store it. Storage cost is theft. Right? So in ETF, when you keep it, if you go buy one gold chain now, your wife will see it. She'll love it. She'll say, baby, you bought it for me. You'll say, okay, right now, emergency fund. You'll say, okay, keep it.
They don't say that enough.
You don't realize that. You at that moment of love and affection, you tell your wife, okay, for you only, keep it. Because you know she's not going to sell it. And you're not going to sell it right now. Problem will be 1 year, 2 years later, suddenly emergencies come. You need to liquidate that gold. That time your wife will say, huh? That is my chain, you bought it for, first chain you bought for me with so much love. After marriage, you'll be like, hey, babe, it's emergency now. You'll be trying to explain it to her, saying, don't worry, I'll buy another chain later. But no, that chain is that chain. So then what will you do? You'll go take the chain and pledge it. Go to a bank, like Manappuram, leave it there and take 80%, 90% of value or whatever they give at that time. You take that and say, okay. Then you'll have interest to pay. It ends all very one complicated thing. Now look at the ETF. Your wife doesn't care. She doesn't even know. You tell her, I have 1 kilo of gold in ETF. She's like, her reaction is that because she can't see it.
Just numbers.
Some number you're saying. So when you have an emergency 5 years later, 6 years later, you can immediately sell it. There's no loan. You get your cash, do your emergency needs. Then again, you can start accumulating. The cost overall becomes much lower. Emotional cost, physical cost, whatever cost you look at it, gets lower. That is why if you are like in your state, I would say buy ETF. Now, if you've already got enough physical gold, then don't buy more ETF. Right? This next thing in that hierarchy, which I would say emergency fund, which falls in the same bracket, would be insurance. Most of you...
So this should be filled first.
Yes. First do emergency fund. I would say even before emergency fund, buy insurance. But most people would probably do emergency fund first. Or break it in pieces and do each one little bit. What I would say is get insurance. Most importantly, a lot of you who are working for IT companies will say, my company is giving insurance. True, but you may get laid off. I know
So
so many
that
people.
insurance will get cancelled.
Yeah.
Okay.
You lose it. Or you find a better job. And you're in between jobs. It happened to one of my friends. He was in between job. His father got cancer. He had to pay out of his pocket to treat his father's cancer because his company insurance wasn't there. He was in between company A and company B. He was in a very high position. But still, there's no insurance.
Okay.
He didn't bother.
Taking the insurance.
Because why?
Yeah.
Company's not going to fire because he's a very important guy in the company. So he knew he will not be fired. But he took it for granted. He found a better opportunity, better pay. He wanted to jump. So he jumped. But a couple of months in that between, his father got cancer. You cannot stop cancer treatment. Any other treatment, you can say, wait, insurance will come, then I'll do the treatment.
This should be done immediately.
Cancer, you cannot wait. It has to be done. So you have to liquidate something and do the treatment. So that's why I'm saying you get your own insurance. And when you buy insurance at your age, it's very cheap. If you wait till my age or Anand's age, insurance becomes very expensive. At your age, you can buy for you, your wife, and you take a nice cover, family cover, and tomorrow when you have children, it's very easy to do everything. And nowadays, if you buy the right kind of insurance with the right riders, even child care and everything will fall into that. So it gives you a lot of support, which you don't see now. But when the cost comes of having a child, at the time you'll be very grateful. When you go and try to do delivery in a hospital for your wife, you have to spend 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs. You're like, oh my God. Making baby at the time, you're all happy because I'm starting family, I'm becoming a daddy and everything nice. I'm also continuing my lineage, my family name will continue. All that gas will be there. But when the bills start piling up, you will not see all those same uncles who encourage you to start family standing there saying, I'll pay the bill. All those uncles will immediately, I have to go somewhere and it'll disappear. And you're left, as I say, figuratively and literally holding the baby. So insurance that way is very good. And I would strongly recommend with emergency funds, you put insurance. After you do these two things, next.
So this is like physiological needs, it should be filled first.
Yeah. And these two, if you don't plan to do any investment, you may be someone like my friend Arun behind the camera and be YOLO. I don't care about all this investing nonsense. I need to live today. Then at least this much I'll say do for the simple reason. It's like wearing the helmet when you're going on the motorcycle or wearing a seatbelt when you're sitting in the car. That's the least you can do. You may be very careful driver, you may be everything, but then someone else might be an idiot. So for the least protection you can do for yourself, it's not even an investment in my book. Having emergency fund and insurance is not even an investment. It is a basic necessity. It's like having air to breathe. I would say it's that much. So once you do that, then you can look at investment. At that point in time, you need to, now that you're married, you need to sit with your wife and have an honest discussion with her. Something she's probably never even thought of because you went through arranged marriage. This is something she wouldn't have even dreamt of or thought of. And you sit down and say, okay, this weekend we're going to talk about finance. Then you tell her, okay, this is your age, this is my age. This is what happened to your father and my father when they got reached this age. So let us make a plan. She'll appreciate you for being this smart. Okay, then write down all the milestones and what the cost you think is going to be at those points. I want to buy a house 5 years from now. I would like to buy a car 3 years from now. I would like to have a child 6 years from now and the child has to go to school and college. It will take 12 years. Put all numbers down. So you know in each milestone in your life how much money you need. Right? Then you make a plan. Okay, I'm getting this kind of salary. These are the kind of assets I already have. So much of gold I have. Post-emergency, still have some extra gold I have. Maybe I can put it somewhere where that money is going to grow. Better return. So that kind of strategy and planning is what you have to do. That takes you higher and higher in the pyramid. The last thing on the top of the pyramid, which you talked about, what was in Maslow's
self-realization.
Self-realization. In our investment pyramid, the last thing is what I was telling Arun, YOLO. The last, after you do everything, you put money for investing for your married life, money for children, everything, finally the tip will come. Whatever little bit is left, that you get to enjoy. That is a self-realization. That you get to sit and eat a gulab jamun with Alvin and say,
traveling every place.
Yes. Because at the end of it, you'll only have that much money left because you're so young. Because you're building your pyramid. So it's going to take to reach the time at the top. If you start building like this, trust me, by the time you reach my age, you'll be able to take your whole family by a chartered flight to the best gulab jamun shop and buy each one tin of gulab jamun, putting them in 5-star hotel. That's if you start building it now. If you, like me, and you make mistakes and fumble and tumble through life, and you start late, I was fortunate to have Anand as a brother, and my father gave us a lot of safety nets. So I was fortunate. But if you do go on my track, when you reach my age, you will have to borrow someone's gulab jamun and eat.
Okay.
And owe them for that.
Mm.
So I would suggest do this. Insurance, gold. Then sit down, since you're in this stage in life, discuss with your partner, and if you're in Arun stage and you're not married, then even better, I would say wait for marriage. If you've not hit the age 30, there's no need to rush into marriage. Even if you have a girlfriend, you can tell your girlfriend, for our own benefit, let's wait.
And saving money.
Yes, no, you save, I save, we both invest, and by the time we get to marriage life, then life is nice. Won't it be nice to get married when we want, where we want, how we want, and live a life we want? So let us start both investing now. You invest for the next 5 years, things can, like we were reading that day, someone on TVS video, someone said that he has 3,000 shares of TVS and he's bought it at 220 rupees. He must have bought it in 2016-17. But TVS was trading at 200 rupees. It even was at 97 rupees. Today, TVS is trading at over 2,000 rupees. So imagine, you wait, instead of rushing into a marriage, you take that marriage cost and you plug it into a share like that, and 5 years later, when you and your BB girlfriend decide to go tie the knot, you'll see 1 crore sitting, and you will decide at the time, you know what, it's a waste feeding all our relatives. Let us get registered and go somewhere and be nice. So this is my advice to you, since you brought this topic yourself.
So for investment, which should be done first? Share market direct investment and SIP, and then
the best at your age, I would say, since you are inclined to learning about stocks and shares with Albin, learning, questioning, I would say start SIPing in mutual funds, passive funds. But once you are able to identify stocks you like, start buying companies' shares directly.
Okay.
Because you're young, you don't need big money till you're 30 years from you. So, like I said, you buy a TVS or you buy a Trent, Tata Trent at 20 rupees, 30 rupees. 30 years from now, each share is valued at 5,000 rupees. Your life is set.
Okay.
Mutual funds will not give you that. Passive funds will not give you that. Passive funds will give you assured returns regular. But since you are so young, you can take a little bit of risk. So some of your money you invest in mutual funds, passive. Some of it you try and buy stocks directly.
So where does bond fit here?
Bond only fits in once you have a certain volume of money. Because you need to save 1 lakh to buy a bond. So right now you cannot buy bond. With buying gold, buying insurance, putting a little bit in mutual funds, you will not have money for bond. Bond will come for you only in the frame of reference for you will only come 5 years from now.
Okay.
Because 5 years from now you would have saved enough gold, you would have had enough insurance, you would have paid insurance for 5 years, you will be stable in that, you would have enough gold saved, and you would have invested in mutual funds for 5 years. At that point in time, when you come and tell me, sir, now what do? I'll say, remove your mutual funds, put that into bonds.
Okay.
Take the interest from the bond and put it again into mutual funds. Rotate that.
Okay.
Rotate that engine, I'll say.
So the first is emergency cash and insurance, and then SIP.
Yeah. SIP. If you don't know anything, this is only advice is for you.
Yeah.
Because you're interested in stocks, I'll say buy stocks. If you're like Arun and you're not interested and you're wondering when this video is going to end, then I will say buy passive funds.
Okay. And then with the money accumulated, we should consider bonds.
Why are you rushing?
Okay.
You're rushing again.
Yeah.
I'm saying let's eat breakfast. You're asking me about dinner. Okay, we eat breakfast all right. We eat lunch all right. But no, what about dinner?
Okay.
And I'm like, forget dinner. And again, you're like, okay, lunch is then breakfast. But what about dinner? We have 5 years time. Don't worry, you'll be able to find me.
Okay.
Come and find me in 5 years and say, I've done all this. Then I'll say, okay, good job. And then we'll talk. Okay. It's like me buying 32-inch pant when I'm at 48. Yeah. Aspiration, all right. But why rush and buy the pant now? I'm going to lose weight. No, it's going to take some time. I might change my fashion sense might change. I might want another pant. This 32 pant which I bought now, I won't feel like wearing it.
Okay.
So don't rush. All right. Cool.
Yeah. So this video will help your investment goals. So if you found this video informative and interesting, please share it with your friends and subscribe to this channel for more videos. See you soon.
Bye.